Hi, my name is Nicole Harrington. I'm a clinical psychologist with Berkshire CBT Services, and I've put together some videos on kind of coping with the emotional distress and the severe stress of the coronavirus crisis. And what I want to do in this segment is really just talk about some very basic ways of coping with stress, coping with the isolation that we're all experiencing, and kind of doing this in some ways that might feel a little bit better. And so I have some suggestions. I'm going to talk about 3 of those suggestions in this video. The first of those is really to think about how you structure your day. You probably had a routine a month ago that looked pretty different than the routine you have right now. But routines really help us. They kind of cue our brain for what moment of our day we're in and what's supposed to be happening. So, whether your structure involves, okay, I get up and I get showered and I get dressed, what's my general plan for the day, when do my activities happen, when do my meals happen, what is my outside time going to look like, how do I make sure I get outside during the day, how much time do I want to spend on my screen? Do I actually want to think about that in a way that feels a little more thoughtful? If you're working at home for the first time, this can be particularly difficult. You might find that all of a sudden, now that you're working at home, you end up sort of working all day long instead of actually creating windows where you're doing productive work. So lots of people are finding it helpful to actually think about, how do I move into work mode and then back out of work mode? Is there a room I go to? When I come back out, do I take a walk around the yard or stretch or do something that kind of, again, cues me to shift my modality to something different? And lots of people are really struggling with sort of boredom and kind of restlessness. And so I encourage people to make lists. I know that sounds sort of mundane, but if you're feeling bored and restless, it's probably not your most creative moment. So in a different moment, can you create a list of things you might like to do that might occupy yourself? Can you have another list of people that you like to be in touch with, that you've been meaning to be in touch with? So that when you're feeling a little out of sorts and a little restless, you don't actually have to have the energy to come up with solutions. You've already got them kind of handy. My second suggestion is that you limit your news consumption. And I know some people will take me to task for this, but we do have a physiological response to news that we find stressful, and most of the news right now is pretty stressful. And our ability to have 24-hour news means that we have this kind of chronic increase in bursts of anxiety throughout our day. So we're settling back down and then we see something else. If you're someone who has CNN all the time or Fox News all the time, you're stimulating your brain repeatedly throughout your day. And so I really encourage people during this time to titrate your news exposure. So for example, if it's something that is on all the time, can you change the channel for significant windows of your day? Can you move the news off your home page? If you're working at a computer, can you have your news be on a different device so that you have to make a conscious choice to go watch it and check it? And I come to the question of sort of what is it that we're so afraid can't wait? People will sort of come back and say, but I have to know what's going on. Okay, but what is it that you're going to learn right now that you're going to respond to differently if you hear it 3 hours from now? So again, making a choice about how you interface with all of the news in the world and how you kind of contain it a little bit for yourself can be a really important thing. And the third suggestion that I have is I really want you to think about reaching out to other people and asking what they're doing to cope. We are a village, and so it's not foolish to say to your friend or colleague or neighbor, how are you structuring your day? How are you moving into and out of work? Are you able to let go at the end of the day? What are some of the activities on your list? What have you found that I might not have found yet? What are your art projects or house projects, or what kind of things are worth watching on TV? How are you kind of structuring your day with children? How are you coping? All of this not only gives us good ideas, but also really helps us kind of keep creating community when we're spending less time together. So those are 3 of my suggestions for coping. I'll have some more in the next section. Again, my name is Nicole Harrington, and take good care of yourself.